I'm Martin O'Leary of the O'Leary clan from behind Main Street Books. And I don't always listen to internet radio, but when I do, I listen to the Curvaceous Bounty of Sin City on VegasWholeNetRadio.com from 7 to 10 p.m. They're awesome, and I love them. When I'm not banging fat chicks behind Main Street Books, I'm listening to the Curvaceous Bounty of Sin City. Like them on Facebook. I like them all the time. Follow them on Twitter. They don't know I follow them everywhere. And visit them at SinCityBounty.com. Sin City Bounty. Put the N in there. It's not bounty, it's bounty. I'm sounding Scottish now. Arr!
This program is intended for mature audiences only and contains strong or potentially offensive language of an adult and sexual nature. So, listener discretion advised.
The views and opinions expressed on the Curvaceous Bounty of Sin City do not reflect those of this station or its affiliates.
All music, stories, and characters are the sole property of their creators and are protected under international copyright law.
Sierra, Sweet Cheeks, Toxie, and Glit are personalities put on for your entertainment.
Their stories are real, their language is explicit, and their behavior's out-fucking-rageous.
If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of the kitchen.
Blasting to you straight out of Las Vegas, Nevada, it is the Curvaceous Bounty of Sin City, starring Sierra, Sweet Cheeks, Glitz, and Toxie. Good evening, Las Vegas.
And people around the world.
And all you motherfuckers who thought you'd be watching us on live stream. Which I did set up, and I started, fiddling around with it, and I even broadcast for about 45 seconds earlier this evening. It looks like it's going to be pretty awesome. We still have to try not to ruin each other's computers. I'm going to move this camera. You guys are really going to like live stream. It's ad-free, so no more getting our show interrupted for ads. Oh, that's no good. I can't see myself. And I think I'll be able to get multiple cameras, but that's a little bit down the road. Anyway, we're on Ustream right now. Okay, that's better. We're on Ustream right now. We may go to live stream. We may do a dual broadcast a little bit later, but that'll depend on if I have a spare camera laying around here, which I don't think I do. So, yeah, welcome back to Sin City Bounty. It's just us tonight, right, Toxie?
It is just us.
That is awesome.
Just the two of us.
Good.
At one point during the evening, we're going to start to cuddle.
Oh, we're gonna pet each other.
Yeah, we're gonna hug and all those fun things that two girls, pillow fights, whatever two girls do together.
When we're alone with a camera.
What can we do with just us and a webcam?
Gee, I wonder. Nothing that'll hopefully get us booted off Ustream. Fucking Ustream. No, I love you, Ustream. Really, you're amazing and awesome.
For as long as we have to have you, you're awesome.
Right. I have a story and a question I really want to ask, but I want to save it until after the guest. But I really want to start it now, even though I know we only have, like a half hour before the guest comes on?
Right, he's on at 7:30.
So who's our guest today?
Our guest is BHM model Tony. He was on a while back.
See that big bear that was on a motorcycle?
He is. He is. He's that big Yummylicious model that, you see a lot of BBW models out there and a lot of BBW models, but you don't see a lot of BHM models.
Not really, which is sad because BHMs are way more accepted than BBWs in our American media junkie society, because a big burly man is American, and hallelujah, I know lots of girls who are like, oh, I can't date no little skinny guy, I need a big man. And so they've been like lumberjackers are totally acceptable here. So I don't understand why.
Lumberjackers.
I love them.
Lumberjackers.
I love them. Yes, I don't know why there aren't more, because they're sexy as all get out.
Absolutely.
Super sexy.
And Tony's done all types of shoots. I mean, I'll have him talk about it a bit more. Yeah. And I sent out a link to like him on Facebook a little bit earlier on our social media. But he's done all types of shoots, including, maybe a little naughtier
A little naughty.
photos out
Naughty,
there.
naughty.
So
Yeah, I dated, and I put little air quotes around that. I dated a guy who could
it
be
means you
considered.
fucked him after you met him in a parking lot somewhere, right? Like you
No,
met him
not in the parking
lot of
lot.
a club or
No,
something.
this is the greatest, like, straight out of a romance novel way to meet a guy, period. So it is, I can't remember if it was New Year's or St. Patrick's Day. It was one of those, like, let's all get wasted, and I think it was St. Patrick's Day parties.
I love where this story's going.
Right. So we were at our favorite little old man's bar, and we used to go there all the fucking time. This was me, Calypso, and Alexia, the original authors of this show. And so we were there, and we were drinking, and I think the United Nations was with us. We had this group of people we called the United Nations, because there was a Serbian and a Croatian and a German and, a bunch of other people all from those countries, and we would all go drinking together and talk about having sex on your period. They were a great group of people, mostly dudes. I think there might have been one chick, maybe someone was banging her, but whatever. So we're drinking, and there's this like group of good-looking guys buying pitchers of beer at the bar. And I can't remember why I ended up buying them a pitcher. I was pretty drunk at the time. But I do know that there was one dude there that I took one look at him and I was like, I want to climb that mountain. He was like 6'4", and he must have been like 300, 350. Big burly dude, right? And he had just a little bit of a scruff going on. Black hair, blue eyes, just totes my goats adorbs, right?
Totes my goats.
Totes
I love
my
that
goats.
word, by the way.
Me too.
It's awesome.
And so I bought them a pitcher of beer with the addendum to that they must come drink it with us. So they come over and sit down, and we all start drinking. Come to find out, they are all in the graduate program at UNLV. They're all about my age in the graduate program. And the one that I wanted to talk to was getting his master's in geology. There was 2 or 3 other geologists from that program there. And so we all ended up getting into this superly ridiculous, nerdy conversation about rocks. And
I'm so turned on right now. I don't know how you didn't,
so
get it
me
on
and
right
this guy
there with the
totally
conversation about rocks.
we totally clicked. Like, we had this great chemistry going on. And then he had to take his friends home, and I was like, oh, that sucks, because he was like the designated driver, not as drunk as everyone else. And so he left, and I was kind of bummed out, and I was like, man, I totally should have got his number. And everyone was like, yeah, you guys totally had like clicky chemistry going on. And anyways, like 45 minutes go by, I am even drunker, and he comes back to the bar. He has dropped his friends off. He came back to the bar just to give me his phone number so that I could call him and we could set up a date. And we went on like 2 or 3 dates that ended very well. We ended up, this is the guy that I gave him Video Game Roadhead. Have you heard this story?
Repeat the story. I do believe I have.
So I had a brand new PlayStation 3, and he had a 56-inch plasma TV. And so we married the two and would play video games at his place all the time. And one time he was playing this racing game, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I gave you head while you're racing, and then it would be Video Game Roadhead? And he was like, zip. He just unzipped his pants, and I gave him a blowjob right there while he was playing video games. Video Game Roadhead.
Awesome.
You don't give a rat's ass. Have you ever given your husband Roadhead?
No, not while playing video games. He does not play video games.
How about just regular Roadhead?
Not while driving either. No, I don't like to die.
You're also not a big fan of the cock and mouth syndrome.
Not as much,
No.
but definitely not in a situation where it's like, if you get distracted from the road, we will die.
Right.
Like I don't, particularly find the thrill in that, but many people do.
It's thrilling. The ride of the century. No, so that was, he was
Maybe
a big...
a little skydiving head. I might be open to that, but...
Skydiving head. We're going to die anyway. Ah. Since I will never be jumping out of a perfectly good airplane, Callie can mark skydiving head right off his list, because it's not happening. Sorry, babe.
It's off. You got to find someone else for that one, because...
And you know what? I'd be okay with that. Like, if you find a girl willing to slob your knob at 20,000 feet, go for it.
I actually would like to extend that invite to Mr. Toxie as well. If you do find somebody willing to do so,
go for it.
By all means.
Take pictures, please. Bring a videographer with you. I'm sure Charles will jump out of an airplane for
And
us.
he'll follow and videotape it.
That'll be funny.
Oh my goodness.
So, my golly. Yeah, it's been, oh, my computer's all doing things it shouldn't be doing. Anyway.
It's from all the porn.
No, it's because it's old. This computer predates the radio show, and I don't know if you all know this, but we're about a month away from going into our 6th season. That means we've completed almost 5 full years of this radio show. And I think in that time, we on one hand can count the number of times we haven't broadcast a show on Sunday at 7 o'clock. One hand. Yeah. I know we did once for when Mama's husband had a heart attack, and we were all up till like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And we did it twice this year, and I think one other time. That's it. I think we've only not broadcast 4 times.
That is pretty awesome. Yeah, I just have to tell you, there is a random 2 random fries in my computer bag. Like, how much of a fat chick am I?
I want to know how old those fries
They have
are.
to be old. I don't even have these kind of fries. I actually do have some Del Taco fries in my purse. Like, not
those are the
in my
crinkle
purse,
cunt.
but in a bag. But these are like McDonald's fries.
Well, they never go
know.
bad. We put it back there,
Oh,
the
it's back
overflowing trash can.
All right.
Oy.
I mean, I have like, my computer bag is like full of random note cards, gum, tampons, and 2 stray $1 and 2 stray fries.
$1.
$1.
Here's $1.
Once again, I am such a fat chick.
Yeah.
Now, not all fat chicks keep fries in their computer bag. Just a little disclaimer so you don't all get pissed that
But
I'm
most of us do. At some point
I
or
don't want to
another.
generalize, but
Some point or another, and you could probably apply this to just about any person except for those crazy skinny vegan bitches. You've opened up your purse or computer bag or whatever satchel you happen to be toting around and found like an 85-year-old French fry at the bottom of it. We've all done that.
you go in my purse, not my purse, like in my car, and you could probably find a whole meal,
Oh.
like in my seats, under my seats. I remember when my daughter was little, I once found many weeks later the lost milk cup.
Oh.
And the way I found it, I searched everywhere, but the way I found it is it got really hot out.
Mm.
So.
And then your nose led you to the offending manner.
To it, like under the seat, up in there. Like she had to perform some magic to get it shoved up in there.
How do kids do that? My mom has a story of me where they are feeding me Jell-O at a restaurant, right? And they're not paying any attention to where the Jell-O's going because I'm opening my mouth, they're putting it in, I close my mouth, they turn around, continue a conversation, and then come back and repeat the process, right? They go to leave, and all of the Jell-O is still, this is restaurant Jell-O, so it's cut up in cubes.
Oh, yeah.
All of the Jell-O is still in cubes in a perfect pile underneath the high chair that I'm sitting in. Underneath it. And she watched me put it in my mouth and close my mouth. She's like, I have no idea how that happened. I said, I don't either. I changed my son's diaper one time and found spaghetti in it. And I don't think we'd had spaghetti that night. No, it wasn't worms. It was spaghetti.
Right.
We may have had spaghetti at some other point. He's had food on the back of his head. Like, I don't understand children and what they do with the food.
It goes
everywhere.
Somewhere random. I mean, even now, like our big thing is lunch bags. And, I will get home and I'm like, did you bring in your lunch bag? Yes, absolutely. Did you bring in your lunch bag? Yes, absolutely. Where's your lunch bag? Oh, it's in here somewhere. And I'll find your lunch bag when it's Vegas hot.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up in the trunk. And, I had one, because she has a bunch of different lunch bags, but I was cleaning out the trunk and I found one and it had liquefied vegetables in a baggie.
You just throw the whole damn thing away.
Yes.
I
can't even tell you how many. I'm like, and it's spilled and I'm like, I'm not dealing with this.
It just goes in the trash can.
Sparkly from Justice and cost me $52.
In the trash
Not really
it goes.
52, but Hey, Kelly guy said, watch out for the donut crumbs. I said I will have to tell that story.
Yeah,
It
you
is
will.
a very good story.
We got 15 minutes.
Shall I tell the story
Yeah,
now?
you should tell the story.
Okay.
So we had a meeting at my house on Friday. And it was Toxie's job to bring dessert because we feed our people at meetings.
So
People who show up.
Yes, people who show up do get fed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very, very good at making things I could purchase. So if you actually ask me to make a dish, but for the sake of others, anything I can pick up is ideal. And so I picked up donuts, which I've brought before.
They're good.
And
Donuts.
so I'm in the car, and I live very, very far from Sierra, like boop, opposite ends of town.
Practically 2 different cities.
Right. I'm like, you find me as you're leaving Vegas. I'm way there. But so anyway, so I'm driving and I have this dozen donuts next to me. And I just kept thinking, like, there's 12 donuts there. And I don't feel we need 12 donuts. And how can I not touch a donut? And so then I thought, I wonder if they'll notice if there are not a dozen donuts. So instead, I figured I'd ask. And so I messaged Sierra and I said, would you happen to notice, or would you believe me if I said they gave me 11 donuts versus 12? And you said, yes, absolutely. And then your next message was, go for it, because you know me so well.
And then she's like, no, it's okay. And I'm like, seriously, I'll never know.
So I'm driving and I reach over and I open the box. And at first I'm like, oh, those fuckers, because I just asked for an assortment and I hadn't looked yet. And they did not give me any cream filled. They were all
just regular donuts.
Regular donuts, a sort of variety, but just regular. So after I cursed them out, I looked in the box, and I'm not overly, chocolate's not always my first choice, but I like the vanilla cream filled.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like their, frosted chocolate. But in this case, they also put in
they put a chocolate ganache on top.
Yes, with chocolate on top. So I thought I have to have that. And so I'm driving and I take a bite and I'm like, wow, this is delicious. And I basically at that point proceeded to try and, I don't know, inhale the donut while I'm driving. So here I am driving, chomping my donut. And all of a sudden it lodged in my throat. And it wasn't a little oh, I have to take an extra swallow or two to get it down. It's lodged in my throat. It is like death. I now call them the death donuts.
They are now death donuts.
They're now death donuts. So it's lodged in there and I'm driving and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? And I'm starting to like panic as I'm like not even able to breathe with this chunk of, death in my throat. So I start pounding myself. And as I'm doing that, I'm trying to like steer and get my soda. And mind you, I'm on the freeway. And so all this is going on. And I'm getting my soda, like drinking as fast as I can to try and dislodge it. And I'm hitting, and finally it goes down. So, I continue driving, and the whole way I was like shaking the rest of the ride and, and I just kept thinking, wow, that was very close. But I have to share with you all the mindset that I had while I was about to die. My mindset was not, gosh, I will miss my lovely family. Oh, I will miss my friends. I will miss living. I will miss life. My thought was, I am going to be the person who dies, and the headline's going to be, Fat Girl Dies Choking on a Donut.
Fat girl dies while choking on a donut.
That is it.
I've decided that there are 2 ways that fat girls never want to die because it'll always end up in the headlines. And one is choking on food, specifically probably donuts.
Donut, like anything that you would, if you were stereotyping what a fat girl eats, like nobody is going to make a headline, fat girl chokes on carrots.
Right.
Guys, that will never be a headline.
Fat girl asphyxiates on broccoli.
Right. Never happening. But fat girl,
Fat girl chokes on donut and dies. That's on the Review Journal. The New York Times is posting that shit on the front cover.
The Mirror, what is it? The UK Mirror, like it's
Yeah.
front page on there.
The HuffPo.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
that's the one, dying on food, and the other is strangling in clothes. Like you're trying to try on clothes or whatever, anything to do with clothes. Like I've seen reports where people are like trying to try on jeans that are too small. They're jumping around, they fall over, smash their heads, and die.
Right.
You never want to do that as a fat girl.
Right.
You do not want to be the fat girl dies in clothing stall while trying to try on pants. Like that's sad. Sad.
My other fat girl fear is needing like the jaws of life to get me out of a stall. Like whether it's a fitting room, most fitting rooms have a little bit of room, but like if you
Bathroom stalls.
ever go, the worst one is fucking Cracker Barrel. And it is we stop there a lot between here and California. And there's one it's like in Victorville.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you stop there, I always stand there and I go like, please let the big one open up. Like, please, please. And it never does. And their little ones are so small. Like I have to go in sideways and slide back very carefully because the stall is like, it's like hip to hip. You know, it's very difficult to maneuver because not only do you have to get in, get comfortable, but you have to perfect the wipe
Right.
in a very, in a very tight space. So
Yeah, there's a restaurant in town. There's a chain of restaurants in town called Macayo's, and there's one on Charleston and Eastern, and that's our favorite one to go to because it's like one of the originals. There's still Mexicans cooking in the back, and
I've been to that one.
it's really good, that one. The bathroom, however, the door to get to the bathroom is about half the size of a normal door, half the width. So going in there, getting into the little tiny hallway where the bathrooms exist first off is a challenge because you got to get through that door. And then you've got to get into the bathroom, which has a normal sized door and a half sized hallway. And then you got to get in and you have to stand, kind of straddle the toilet in order to close the doors and maneuver things. It's terrible. Terrible. I always try to go to the one in the back of the restaurant, but they almost always have the back half of the restaurant closed. So they're like, no, we use just this restroom. That one is closed. And I'm like, but I can't poop in this one. It's too small.
You shouldn't be pooping in public places anyway.
I poop wherever the poop strikes me. When
Yes,
I gotta
you do.
go, I go.
Yes, you do.
And I've perfected pooping. I can poop in 2 minutes or less.
And she does.
She's witnessed it.
Just the other night, she's like, I have to go poop. I thought, oh, this is going to be a while. And 2 minutes later, she sits down and I'm like, in 2 minutes, I would not have even warmed up the seat yet to be comfortable enough to poop, let alone being done.
I am post gallbladder surgery with probably some IBS or Crohn's or whatever else is going on in there. So I regularly have intestinal disruption. We've talked about this on the show before. I'm actually a professional pooper now. Like I can get what I need done in a very short period of time because I don't need that time to relax anymore because my body's just trained to just let it go. That somebody is going to rewrite that song to make it a poop song.
You should.
Yeah,
You
I
should
bet
do
you it's already
it.
been done though.
Let's on YouTube and find out.
Yeah, we should. Well, our guest hasn't called in
Oh,
just
you
yet.
know what? Oh, he's going to at 7:30.
Okay.
7:30. I will tell you that I used to go to karaoke a few years back, and we went with there was a BBW group here in Vegas that I belonged to,
Mm-hmm.
and so we used to regularly go to this one restaurant bar for karaoke. And when you go in, they would have, I believe there were 3 stalls. There was a handicap stall and 2 very, very, very small stalls. And so again, it's when you go in sideways, you back up carefully, aim for the toilet, hope you're hitting it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Are you a
so-
squatter?
A squatter?
Like you never make contact with the seat?
No, I'll make contact.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make contact. But so what would happen is that you go in there and you're like, which one am I going to go in? Obviously the big one. Now it's not some big, fancy bar where there's a million people there. And so one time we were there and somebody had posted a sign on there saying something along the lines of, this is a handicap stall. It is not meant for fat people who are too fat to use the other 2 bathrooms. Do not use this unless you're handicapped. blah, blah, blah. So we
What are
went
you gonna do?
and,
Find me?
well, we were very close with the owners because we had, been going there so long. And so we went and we asked the owners, did you guys put this up? One of the patrons did.
Oh.
They were appalled. I mean, they even went back in and like put their own sign up, and they're like, don't you dare tell anyone who could use these stalls. And, their mom would use it, and she's not handicapped and she's smaller. She just preferred the room of the big one.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, they were outraged. But yeah, somebody actually took the time, sat down, wrote a little note, and posted it for us. So it was quite nice.
That's crazy. That's really crazy.
Is the Skype computer still down?
I don't know what's going on with this thing. It seems to be a new computer and it seems to be working better, but I don't know for sure.
Okay. We'll leave it as we'll leave it as a call-in.
Yeah.
We do need our headphones, huh?
Yeah, we are going to need to plug in some headphones. We're going to take a quick break for all of you out there because I've got to do some things here on this computer and we got to get ready for our Skype and all that good stuff. So we're going to take a quick break. Maybe we'll throw a short song in here for you guys to listen to while we chit-chat. We'll be right back after these messages from our friends.
This is Sierra of the Curvaceous Bounty of Sin City on VegasAllNetRadio.com, and I would like to take a moment to talk about something serious.